to the Zero Budget Podcast, not live. Oh fuck!
I can smell that through my screen, bro.
Something happened in the back of my throat. I'm seeing like stars now, and like,
You got COVID.
oh shit!
That was
Welcome everybody.
gross. That was gross.
Is that how we're gonna open it? Should we just keep that in?
That was
Yeah.
a terrible start.
I think that was a dynamic intro.
Yeah.
Our best
agree.
one yet.
that was atrocious.
Welcome everybody to the Zero Budget Podcast, not live. Yet again, we are not live. I think this is going to be the format of how we do it now, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. I am your host, Jipdej Singh. With me, as always, is my co-host, Matthew Hanks.
Hello.
And not with me, as always, but with me here today is our wonderful featured guest, KJ Dawson. That's it? That's all they get?
You know, me just
That's what the fans get?
pimping and primping. Pimping and primping.
Pimpin' and primpin'. What does primpin' mean? Sorry, I'm not too hip with the hood lingo.
No. You know, oh, don't say that. That's it, folks. Zero Budget Podcast is canceled.
It's officially been canceled.
What does primpin' mean?
Like, you know, like getting pretty.
Is that real?
Yes.
That's real?
Why would I just say that?
Dude, I thought you were just fucking around, dude. Pimpin' and primpin'.
I mean, I just said that at the top of my head, but like pimping, obviously, is a real problem.
I do not believe
okay.
you. I'm looking up primpin' right now. If it doesn't pop up on Urban Dictionary, you're fucking fired, dude.
Well, it's not an urban word though.
Then that's it, dude. You're out of here. I don't know what to tell you.
Bro.
Primp?
To print.
No way.
Spend time making minor adjustments to one's hair, makeup, or clothes.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, you do. You do.
I would
Now
like to
sit
take
down and
this
be
time-
corrected.
I would like to take this time to make a formal apology. I've made a severe lapse in my judgment.
Fucking looking full head
I'm
ass.
sorry to everyone that I have offended. I
Just
never
wait for-
understand when they say that. They always say, I'm sorry to everyone that I've offended.
Because that's a non-apology.
Not I'm
Yeah.
sorry for what I did. But my bad if you're hurt about it.
Basically. Yeah. Just wait until your blackface video gets released.
My blackface video.
Hold on.
It's just you at like Wegmans.
I just go to Wegmans in blackface sometimes. That's that's how I elect to present myself. Fuck. This has gone off the rails already.
I don't know. It
They're like, sir, this line is 10 items or less. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Ooh, we got that in early this episode.
All right.
Speaking of blackface.
No, you can't do that.
It kind of fit, yo.
No, speaking of blackface, Shane Dawson was in the news this week.
Oh, okay, never mind.
And that's
I
my
thought you
segue.
I thought you were about to start talking about Kanye.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about Kanye. Shut up.
No. That would be racist of me. And it's racist of you for assuming it, quite frankly.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Speaking of blackface, I didn't mention this when we were figuring out what to talk about because I forgot about it until we started talking about blackface. But Shane Dawson was in the news this week, and every week, for a lot of things. People brought up the blackface stuff again. Everybody knows he used to do a character on his channel, Shanae,
Yes.
who was supposedly a black woman who he dated. I don't know. It was a very weird time for Shane Dawson. I watched those videos. I'm not gonna lie. When I was like 8,
I do remember those videos.
yeah. When I was 8, I was like, "Yo, this shit goes hard." And then I look at it and I'm like, why? Okay, let me pull up a picture just so everyone can see.
Am I going to be like grossly offended, or am I going to be like, oh, bro, come on now?
No, Shanae was disgusting.
Yeah.
Shanae isn't just like, oh no, he did black voice. He was in.
Like,
It is a disgusting display of everything.
whole 9 yard.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can transition to
like
screen capture.
like it wasn't even like it was like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a good time for anybody involved.
Well, it seems like he stopped doing blackface. Like, that doesn't make it any better, but it seems like there was blackface Shanae, and then there was not blackface Shanae.
No, I don't think he ever did full blackface. I think that this other Shanae is not him. But it's like an actual black guy just like making fun of black women.
I'm looking at like 4 pictures of Shane Dawson in blackface.
Oh, like actual blackface? Did you look up Shane Dawson blackface?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's him in blackface.
Oh, holy shit.
Wait, so is this okay, off topic real quick. In Wikipedia, it says Shane Dawson's real name is Shane Lee Yaw.
Yeah.
Like on God?
Yaw. Yeah, that's totally his real name.
Lee Yaw.
Lee Yaw. He did Nicki Minaj.
Oh my god.
He did a Nicki Minaj flavor of blackface. Welcome back, everybody. We had some technical difficulties in the middle of talking about Shane Dawson's blackface excursion. So where were we? We were talking about excursion. That's what I'll call it.
Wait, what?
All right.
Shane Dawson doing blackface. That's where we were at.
Bad.
Yeah, pretty bad. I think we would all agree.
Even for like 2008 standards, pretty bad.
Yeah. So not only did he do blackface, but there were also many a video that came out about him, let's say, making more than edgy jokes in regards to pedophilia and other things of the sort.
I thought that was like old news.
It was, but so much more has come out where it's a little like we've all made edgy jokes. We all went through that anti-SJW thing in 2016. But wow, these are rough. There was a video of him pretending to jerk off in front of a poster of Willow Smith, who was
he did a what now?
Yeah, this was the big thing that like really solidified him getting canceled. So I'll list the other examples and then we'll circle back to that one. So he has a 12-year-old cousin, which he and his girlfriend both would make very sexual jokes with her. Like he used to have a girlfriend. He was bi. And he did him and his girlfriend did like a video where they, with his 12-year-old cousin, like taught her sex ed, but in an edgy, disgusting kind of way, where like she took a stuffed animal and like stuffed that up her dress or something and went like, "This is sex. Don't let a boy put his dick in you," or some shit like that to a 12-year-old. They did things where they went on Omegle and they would tell like 12-year-olds to like twerk, and then he was like, "Now take your clothes off." There was a lot of really fucked up shit, like a lot. Him and the Fine Brothers made a video.
No, them too.
Him and the Fine Brothers made a video where they had these puppets. There was this puppet. It was called like Millie something. Let me look this up. But basically it was this little fucking child puppet that would make sort of inappropriate jokes, but the jokes were things like, hey, what is sex? Can you fuck me? And the puppet was like supposed to be 8. It was disgusting. It was horrible. I'm gonna pop it up on screen so everybody can see it. Everybody in the live can see it. But it's this little fucking 8-year-old girl puppet. Hey, it's Millie. It's the worst thing in the world. So yeah, he makes a lot of edgy jokes towards pedophilia and child molester stuff. Yeah, and then the Willow Smith thing. There was a video of him pretending to, do his thing in front of a poster of Willow Smith, who was 11 years old at the time. And so Jaden Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith both tweeted at Shane. And Jada Pinkett Smith said to Shane, I'm done with the excuses. And Jaden Smith was like, you're fucking disgusting. That was my 11-year-old sister. Fuck you, dude. So yeah.
Yeah.
We've had a wonderful intro so far. We've had the blackface. We got the pedophilia. A little dabble video.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of Shane's when I was like 12. But like, as he kind of grew up, I kind of just grew out of his content.
Yeah.
And like, especially with his conspiracy theory shit, like, bro, I wanted to.
Hey, don't talk shit about that.
Dog, he pulled out the dumbest shit, like the Chuck E. Cheese fucking pizza shit.
But it was interesting.
No, I don't care. And then he made that 8-part series where he called Jake Paul a sociopath.
Yeah. It took him
and
8
then,
hours to do that.
And even then, like, you can't do that because, like,
Yeah.
pretty sure that's like, you could sue for libel for that because it's like really defaming.
Yeah, well, the shit with filmmaking is really interesting too because you got a lot of reports from his movie Not Cool. Not reports. There was a show. He was doing it for a show.
Yeah.
Called The Chair, where they take like 2 sort of young directors and almost like pit them against each other.
Yeah.
So he was going up against this young indie filmmaker.
Yeah.
So there are like videos of him berating his staff, being really difficult to work with, not taking any sort of criticism. In the first screening, what they do is like, in like the test screening, is like they'll get criticism and stuff from the audience, right?
Mm-hmm.
He literally left the room because he was like, I don't need to hear it. I heard them laugh. They liked it. And then they were like, well, there's a lot of really good stuff going around in there. And then he was like, I'll get the cards later. And then his movie got like a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. Because it was terrible.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on about Shane just being a not-so-great guy. And then Tati got involved?
Yeah, I saw that.
And Tati's entire video, I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was pretty much just like, it was just fucking, hey, remember when I made the video on James Charles?
Well.
Shane told me to do it, so Shane's the bad guy.
It's like, no, you did it.
No.
Still made it.
Still made the
Still
video.
made the video. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the weird world of Shane Dawson is back in our mainstream
I kind of just
consciousness.
Parts of me's just like cool. I don't care. But I mean, like, it's good that he's, I guess, getting canceled, even though I don't really like cancel culture, generally speaking. This is, I think, a bit different.
Cancel culture is such a toxic, like, community and, like, corner of the internet. But I feel like everyone's kind of always known that Shane is weird as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Like, that's not like a...
What do you guys think about deplatforming?
I don't know what that is.
So deplatforming is kind of like cancel culture, but like real. You know what I mean? So deplatforming is like what happens after cancel culture. So, what do you feel about Shane not having his platform anymore? If that is where this is going.
Honestly, I don't think he / a lot of people will care because I mean, like Shane has definitely made enough money so far where he can probably retire, realistically speaking.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, let's just be. I mean, like, not. I mean, I'm just not a fan of Shane's content, but like, you know, I don't even know anybody who watches Shane Dawson, like ever. But maybe I don't know enough. Like, well, I guess his target audience is like teenagers, like younger teenagers as well.
So here's my thing with Shane Dawson, right? All of us here are culprits of making some very edgy jokes and comments.
Yeah.
Some things that no one should ever really say, but we've all grown out of that.
Yeah.
However, I think when it comes to this brand of pedophilia jokes and racist jokes and stuff like that, and still, again, like we like our light brand of edgy humor, but I think that normalizes the behavior to an extent where we can't weed out the people that we're trying to take down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this whole thing of like pedophilia jokes and stuff, when we see people that are actually pedophiles or rapists or anything like that, we look back at their behavior and we're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But when you got everybody joking around like this, or even not everybody, but when you have big names like Shane Dawson joking around like this, then that normalizes that kind of joking around. And then the least bad thing it does, which is still very bad, is it makes it harder for us to spot out the people that are actually pedophiles and racists and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing with deplatforming is, sure, you know what I mean? Because at the very least, it makes it easier to figure out who our enemy is.
Yeah.
So
I think just too.
What comes with deplatforming? Is that just like taking away their content?
Basically,
Deplatforming is like banning, basically.
Yeah.
Like different forms of banning. So Shane Dawson, his entire channel got demonetized. And if you remember Logan Paul, after his whole controversy with the suicide tree, his content was basically like he had his YouTube partnership taken away, his channel was entirely demonetized, his YouTube movie, that was all gone. All these opportunities, all that shit was gone for him. So when we talk about deplatforming, it's back now, but he seems to be in a better place now.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. Just an example.
Yeah,
I think
that's an example of what deplatforming. Or Louis C.K. I think that's a really good example. Louis C.K. was on the rise, and then he did his gross ass shit, and then that's it for him. His career is done.
Yeah, well, he tried to have that like comeback tour.
Yeah, and then everyone was like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?"
What are you gonna do? Whip your dick out on stage, bro? Get the fuck out of here! You know what I'm saying? Like, no one wants to.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of boils down to, you know, like good old Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great responsibility. You know, like there are so many creators who would kill for the platforms and audience that some of these people have, and for some of these creators to go and, you know, say questionable things just for them to be like, oh, haha, it was a joke, and then continue to have that, like, audience. Like, you can't have a major platform and just spew out whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, First Amendment, I get it. But you, like, for Shane Dawson, for example, and Logan Paul, their audience are, like, tweens. You know, like,
Yeah.
so if you're out here talking about like pedophilia, you're like, um, grooming this whole generation to like
Ooh,
think a certain way, and
I
that's
didn't even think
gross.
about it like that.
Hell yeah,
Yeah, I
hell
mean,
yeah.
yeah. When you normalize, I mean, it's not only normalizing it in terms of other content creators, but even in the minds of these kids, when you make all those pedophilia jokes and when you act this way around like your 12-year-old cousin, you make it seem like it's okay for somebody else to act like that. So then when unfortunately it does happen to someone in your audience, they don't have the tools required to be like, this is a bad thing that is happening.
This kind of reminds me a lot of James Gunn and what happened to him a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the biggest difference here is that Shane kind of like continually did it, if that makes sense. Like to even like 2018, because he went on that podcast and said like some shit.
That was his own podcast where
Yeah,
he said that thing about babies. Did you
Yeah.
guys hear that clip? Did you hear that clip, Kyle?
Wants to.
He heard it's a disgusting clip where he says if people can have foot fetishes, why can't they be pedophiles? And he talked to this 6-year-old cheerleader, and she was kind of sexy, and uh, he looked up naked babies, and he was like, I don't understand why anyone would ever be into this, but at the same time, they were sexy.
Anyways, so yeah, there's a big difference from that and then like James Gunn making like really like bad pedophile jokes on his Twitter 10
Yeah.
years ago.
And I also think the audiences are vastly different.
Yeah.
And James Gunn's
like-
audience was vastly smaller.
and probably older.
Yeah.
Also older, he made very distinct kind of films, like before Guardians, it was like Slither
We do.
and Super, like those films were very, it was a brand. So,
Yeah.
even though that kind of humor obviously is not okay at all, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was kind of off, it was on brand. The only reason it became a problem, or why it became such a big deal, is because he started working for Disney. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Disney is such a corporation, they have such a brand to have to protect. So there's no way they could just not say anything to this guy's
Well,
pedophile post.
I mean, also, what happened in that situation was it was a direct attempt to deplatform him.
Exactly, yeah, that
Because
is
he, like, since then on his Twitter, like, he's been very vocal about, like, progressive values and stuff like that. He's been very, he's been a loud leftist, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, that is
And
true.
a lot of these, neo-Nazis didn't like that, so they went through his Twitter, found this, and then they were like, hey, look, he's a pedophile.
Ooh.
And I think the difference with James Gunn is, I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if there is a difference. Like, the more that I'm thinking about it, but I don't know.
I
It
think the
sucks.
biggest
James
it's-
has actively tried to change.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell that like Gunn like changed himself as a person.
Yeah.
While Shane Dawson's like LMAO, it's just a joke, bro.
Yeah.
I think Shane also did try to change, but I think a lot of it is reactionary. You know what I mean?
It seems like he just doesn't give a shit. Like, he's like, oh, sorry, whatever. And then he's going to do
I
it.
kind
and,
of seen one of those
yeah,
I
moments
don't
just
believe
like,
it.
I'm not sorry for doing it, but I'm sorry that I hurt you.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm sorry that
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
offended.
And there's a lot of separation between him and that person that made those jokes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not that person. I don't know who that was.
Yeah.
Who is that? That kind of thing. Or
Yeah,
that
I'd have-
person that made those jokes instead of when I made those jokes.
Yeah, I would have more respect to be like, yeah, I Shane Dawson made those jokes, but that like version of Shane Dawson is an older version, I guess.
Yeah.
Because people grow as they get older.
Yeah.
So
His language is just very victimy. Like I am being attacked and I
Yeah.
am whatever, and like I'm sorry, but this is what I was thinking, but this is why I did it, but there's no excuse. You know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Shane Dawson is a weird one.
A more comparable content creator is like Tobuscus. Do you remember
Yeah.
when all that shit went down? That like, oh, he does drugs. He's
Yeah.
like a rapist and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, like, was that ever proved that like it wasn't true? Like, I don't like, how did that?
It's complicated because like
Can't
all it
remember.
was is like a Tumblr post. So like, I mean, like I
It was a
remember
very
watching.
long and detailed Tumblr post that was corroborated by other people that he's dated.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
I remember just like looking through Philip DeFranco's point of view. They were like kind of like friends, and Philip DeFranco was just like, I'm not sure about like the sexual assault stuff, you know, but he was definitely like, you know, he probably has done like drugs before, you know,
I
and
dropped
kind
it.
of and kind of DeFranco's point I remember he made, and it was just kind of like, you know, I'd rather see him get help first before we like attack him, especially with something that's much harder to prove, stuff like this. And also like Tobuscus's channel at that point was already kind of failing.
Yeah.
I remember 'cause he
Yeah,
definitely was
it
not.
was on the downhill.
Yeah, I think he also did that himself. You know,
Networking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so it's not like it's comparable. It's not that it's definitely not the same as Shane Dawson because Shane Dawson definitely has a platform that is growing still, kind of,
Uh-huh.
or was, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
So.
this seems like a good segue to talk about Sky Williams.
Oh yeah, I have not heard about this.
Yeah,
Yes.
so
That is.
the Smash Bros YouTube Twitch streamer community has been on a big downhill, and this is not a community that I'm a part of, but I don't know why I felt the need to state that. For the record, I do not watch Smash Bros videos. Okay, just putting that out there. But
Jupta is self-hating smasher.
um, but yeah, so they were the recent wave of Me Too stories that sort of came out. Like, almost the entirety of the Smash community is being called out for raping, pedophilia, drugging, things like that. And this is a problem that's existed within the Twitch higher ups, within the streamers themselves, within the partners, all that sort of stuff. But the thing is, a lot of the stories that came out took place at Sky Williams' house. Because Sky Williams is one of those Notch Great Gatsby types. Where he has, you know, like the Vine houses or the
The hype houses.
TikTok, yeah, the hype houses.
Yeah,
So he has those,
I see.
but for
But for like
Like,
Twitch streamers.
gamers. Yeah,
I actually, yeah.
yeah. So a lot of things came out about the conditions in which he kept people to live in. Like, he was very like authoritative and dictatory. A lot of people were sexually assaulted within the confines of his home during parties, things like that. So obviously, Sky Williams is like, I have to respond. So he stays quiet for a few days, probably trying to collect his thoughts, figure out what he's going to say, things like that. Then he tweets. He's like, hey guys, my silence is not complicit. I'm going to be speaking out. I'm going to be responding to all this stuff. And he makes a tweet saying, how should I respond? Right? It's a poll. He says, should I do a video? Should I do a twit longer? Twit longer is just like a link that you can put out that has like everything you need to say. A lot of people tweet it. That's how a lot of allegations come out.
Yeah.
So he's like, should I make a video? Should I make a twit longer? Or should I stream? Stream had the least amount of votes with like 12%.
Mm.
Make a Twit Longer had like 43%. I don't know the exact numbers, but basically Twit Longer was definitely the winner. Stream was definitely the loser, and Make a Video was in between the two. So what does Sky Williams decide to do? He streams it.
Interesting.
And not only does he stream it, but the whole time he's still accepting donations. He's still accepting not sponsorships, but like super chats and stuff like that. So he is actively making money off of this whole thing. Okay, I pulled it up right now. Livestream had 12% of the votes. Twit Longer had 46. Video had 42. And so he's making money on this whole thing when his audience was like, this is not what we want. And I watched the first part of the stream. I watched like half an hour of it. And it's a lot of him just going like, hey, this is how it was in my house. Sucks. I'm sorry. Hey, this is why, but like, hey, it's I don't know. It's a little. It seems kind of manipulative. And I think if you're ever in an environment where that many people are getting sexually assaulted in your home, you are to blame. And you need to take the blame without issuing some kind of big response. Maybe a Twit Longer, but definitely don't stream it. I think the only reason he did stream it was
money.
Not only money, but it's also an emotionally manipulative thing. Because it's like, then you can be like, hey guys, yes, I did allow people to stay in my house. And they took advantage of it, or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
It seemed like that apologetic in the video. On the stream.
It seemed like he was just laying some stuff out. You know what I mean? The tone was kind of weird. So he talked about how fucking weird guy, dude. People had guests over, and he was like, I don't want to be woken up, and I don't want guests over, because he has like a history of like sexual abuse, sexual assault against him. Not he did it, but you know.
Yeah.
So he was like, don't wake me up just because I don't like to be woken up, and don't have guests over because it is still a house. So he's like, I want to be able to walk around. Like, if I need to go turn off the AC or something, I need to be able to do that in my boxers and then go right back to bed. And then he's like, there have been times when I've like seen fans or stuff over, or other guests, and it's like, I don't want to be Sky Williams all the time. I want to sometimes just be Sky. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what doesn't make sense is then sending a group text to everyone you live with saying, hey guys, if you have guests over, I am going to break one of your items every hour, one of your personal items. You can try to hide them from me. I'll find them. So no more guests. Or some dumb shit like that. And he was like, guys, I never did it. And I left the group chat right afterwards.
Interesting.
Wow, that's
I don't know why he handled the situation. Maybe he was possibly just making a hyperbolic explanation or example. Hey, I'm gonna break your shit.
No, here it is. I saw a guest today. A guest I was not warned about in any facet of media with no receipts. Between the hours of 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., I will be breaking something of value into each of your rooms as I had clearly instructed from the house meeting. Or I can get $350 cash, no PayPal, no Chase QuickPay, on my desk and to me before 6 a.m. This is final. There are no exceptions. Hide your valuable valuable things if you must, but I'll find a way. Best of luck to you all. I'll be here waiting. There should not be any questions, as my words are direct and clear. Nobody is exempt, not even people who pay rent. You may physically stop me, but if I feel like I can't beat you in a fight, I will just call the police and have you escorted away. And I'm sure that you all know I'm not kidding. Anyway, 6 a.m., $350. Good luck.
Is that a fucking game? Is it a game to him?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Like, I mean, that's just straight up like extortion.
Fuck. I didn't like doing that.
You know, at first I kind of felt a little bad. Now I don't.
Yeah, now I'm kind of like, yo, fuck him. If that's the way that he, like...
I can understand having rules and even being anal about, you know, that doesn't give you the right to,
I mean,
break
if
property.
anything, I would just be like, hey, if they have guests over and that is against the rules, threaten eviction.
Yeah, like, you can kick them out if you own the property, at least.
Rough to break this shit. He just wants to keep the fucking income.
Yeah.
Wild, man. $350 cash.
Cash, right now.
No PayPal.
I just think it's fucked how he was like, how should I respond? Like, one, no. Respond how you think you should respond. That's going to show who you are. Two, we still did, because if he did want to do it democratically, the one that got the least amount of votes was the one he did.
And he deleted that post. He deleted that tweet.
So clearly he pretends that he cares, but it's proven that he does not.
Yeah.
So
crazy shit, dude. Coming out of the Smash community.
What?
There's also this whole thing a while ago in the whole Twitch streamer community where at a Twitch party, at like a partner's party, they were serving alcohol, so it was a 21 and plus party. But they had the way that they were serving the beers. Let me try to see if I can find this photo. It was just open, like they were poured into the plastic cups, just on a table, like this huge table. And if you don't see the safety concern in that, with a bunch of gamer fucks, not even gamer fucks, just at any sort of party, it's like rule 1: don't do that.
Don't leave your drink unattended.
Twitch drink party. Yeah, so that whole thing happened, right? And then this stupid motherfucker Keemstar.
Oh God.
Yeah, he tweets like, I don't see the big deal. They're just free beer. If you're gonna get upset about free beer, then whatever. You know what I mean? And then people were like, hey, this is a demonstrably bad take. This is the stupidest fucking thing you've ever said. People get roofied. And then he was like, there's this fucking stupid thing that all these Chad motherfuckers do, where anytime you talk about sexual assault, they're like, find me their names, I'll personally kill them, or some shit like that. But then they're like, however, there's nobody doing that. Mm-hmm. It's like you're simultaneously grandstanding and downplaying the issue. And then somebody got roofied. That's
crazy. I do remember that story, actually.
Yeah. So imagine that. A table of open drinks, somebody gets roofied. Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk it? Not me. Not at all.
Is there any legal action being taken with this?
I'm not sure. I didn't look that much into it, but it was just...
There should be.
It wasn't just roofie. It was this specific... I forgot what the name was, but it was a specific type of roofie, which it's like a sleep inducer, which combined with alcohol can kill you.
That's
so when
cool.
you mix it into alcohol, she could have died. And I think this seems to be an issue in the gaming community.
I mean, this is an attempted murder. Or
straight up attempted murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
a lot of attempted things there.
It's just these goofy, awkward fucks who start getting some power, start getting some fame, and with fame comes all these people that want to have sex with you. And in a community like gaming, there's a lot of mingling between kids and adults. There's no real way to keep them distinct, not keep them apart necessarily, but keep them from interacting too much, you know what I mean? There's no system there to protect the kids. And it's these fucking awkward ass gamer pieces of shit. Not that gamers are pieces of shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're all gamers here.
I mean, it's the same shit that I was saying about Shane Dawson, like Sky Williams and Keemstar. Like, they're grooming these incel fucks to think this certain way, or like by not addressing the gravity of the situation, it makes it seem like, oh, haha, Sky did it, I can do it, or Keem thinks it's cool, so like it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not outrightly saying, hey, this is wrong. There are so many people who are looking up to these people, and if you're not denouncing bad things, and you know, in the world, like if you're not outwardly denouncing it, you might as well be, you know, supporting it. Obviously, like, your whole platform doesn't have to be like, rape is wrong, blah blah blah. But like, you know, if that conversation is in the same circle as you have to be like, yo, this is wrong. Or you might as well be like, I support this. You know what I'm saying?
I just don't understand why these fools can't just be like, yo, roofing someone is bad. That's easy. It's the easiest thing to ever say. It's like, also like,
not even roofing someone is bad, but the possibility that someone could get roofied is bad.
Yeah, like
the possibility that this large table filled with open cups of open beer that people are supposed to take and drink, that being there is bad. That is a bad way to serve drinks.
Maybe Keemstar's just never been to a party. Yeah,
it is a thing of perspective, really. I mean, these Chad motherfuckers don't have the perspective, or I mean, obviously we don't have the perspective of like a girl at a party being afraid or some shit, but they don't allow that perspective to really sit with them. They don't allow someone else to tell them what that perspective is like without them being like, hey, it's just a free beer.
Hey.
Idea, don't drink it. Like,
yeah. Fuck, man. Is that everything we have to say about that? Rape,
I guess.
bad.
I don't really.
Roofing,
Yeah, rape.
Bad. Sky Williams, probably very bad.
Probably very bad. Keemstar, also probably very bad.
Definitely very bad. Dude, Keemstar is like the worst of them all. Oh my god.
I accusations too.
Not only does he have accusations, his friend like actually raped someone, and his mouth shut.
Bring back grade A under A. We miss grade.
We do not miss grade. Do you remember Grade's videos?
Bro.
Dude, do you remember? Grade is back, and his videos still suck.
They're not, bro. No, he's not back. He tried to come back like a year or so ago.
He's back. He is back. He's making videos. Him and Leafy are both back, and their videos still suck.
Yeah, he's back right here.
They still cater to the lowest common denominator, which we were.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, dude. Him and Leafy both came back at around the same time.
I mean, alright, don't get me wrong. Grade was very problematic. But he was calling out motherfuckers back in the day when no one was calling out motherfuckers.
Yeah, he was dope when we were 14, but he's not anymore, and we're not anymore. Dude, I promise you, try watching one of his videos, or try watching one of Leafy's videos, you will not feel the same way.
Yeah, I gotta admit, this is coming from somebody who has not seen Grade under A in maybe like 2-3 years.
It's a lot of that commentary community. There's only one person that I feel watched when people, and that's like Pyrocenter. I mean, because he makes a lot of different content now.
I still watch the H3 podcast. I'll be real. I like that.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, like they make commentary, but like they're a bit different now.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like the same.
Yeah.
You know, they're not making videos on like Mad Hawks.
Oh fuck, that was the time.
That was a time.
That was around the anti-SJW phase of YouTube.
Yeah, like right before. I mean, it was like peak culture war. Like
yeah. Which I know it's like problematic to say like, hey, we all had an anti-SJW phase because like some people just didn't. Some people just always recognize that like, hey, human rights matter. But I mean, not most people, a lot of people who grew up with the internet, on the internet, being involved in the internet, went through that phase of YouTube.
Well, I think it's mainly because a lot of I'll call them SJWs at the time were definitely calling for like a lot of like restrictions on some like internet things, and I think we all took that as like an attack. I still don't think I like agree with a lot of things they said back then, even today. But you know,
it was a lot of it was the blue-haired pixie cut stereotype.
Yeah, it was like college students, you know.
Yeah, and it's like now if I compare some of the shit that I say to some of the shit that these commentary YouTubers were ragging about, it's like I seem like an SJW.
But I guess not to excuse that kind of behavior, but like you were saying, like that, I think we can all agree that was like our middle school phase. Yeah. You know, we were all trying to be super edgy, making edgy jokes, but like now, you know, we live in an age where, you know, Black Lives Matter, you know, hashtag Me Too, you know, LGBTQ rights, like the thing to do almost, like the right thing to do is to support, you know, disenfranchised groups and organizations that need that support.
Yeah.
So like that kind of humor, like it's there, you know, dark humor has no limits, but that's kind of its own corner of the internet. You know, for the most part, everybody is like, yeah, this is the issue. Let's get behind it. You know what I'm saying? It's a very different time from like 2016 to now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, especially like just generally the political environment is different. Like in 2016, everyone was generally comfortable, like economically speaking, and generally when people are economically comfortable, they tend to focus a lot on more like social culture war stuff, you know. And I mean that's why like a lot of like 2015, 2016 was just like you're either like an SJW or not, basically, you know. But obviously now things are different.
Yeah.
Because
now it's pretty much you're either a Nazi or you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which will also probably change in like 4 years, you know.
Yeah.
In like 4 years, maybe you're either a neoliberal or you're not.
It
you know.
Honestly depends on how this election goes.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our next topic.
Wow, what a great transition by us.
Thank you so much, Matthew, for providing me with the resources.
Should I bring up a very interesting post that we found?
Oh, bring it up away, Matthew.
Lord.
Oh, I shall quote this man anonymously, but he has made an Instagram post that goes by
KJ left.
He just left. He said, "I ain't listening to this shit."
I'm back.
He's back.
All right.
Go ahead.
PSA from your friendly neighborhood leftist. Representative democracy is what allows capitalism to continue because the ruling class stays in power and puts up barriers for entry into politics, mainly money. Neoliberalism already makes the Overton window fall to the right of the spectrum, and one should only participate in democracy to destroy it. Vote for Kanye West. No fucking joke. Donald Trump is a rapist, racist billionaire with fascist tendencies. Joe Biden is a rapist, racist war criminal with tendencies towards pedophilia. There's literal video evidence of him rubbing little kids. Kanye West is just a rapper, and if you vote for him, it'll seem like a joke. However, if enough people vote for Jesus, it's a significant protest of the system. The first step is to replace representative democracy with a direct democracy. That way, the working class will essentially be governing themselves with only a few figures of authority elected to run the new, smaller state. Then, that state can begin to wither away as the working class grows to not need anyone to officiate their system. allowing true freedom for all the workers to get true value from their labor? Is it eat the rich, or y'all just fronting for social media? Kanye 2020. Hopefully, Pusha T is his VP.
So,
And that is his post.
Kyle, do you have the post up in front of you?
It can get up in front of me, but I was looking at it before we started.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to break this down point by point real quick before we get to discuss.
Paragraph by paragraph.
Oh yeah, let's break it down. Let's break it down.
Okay, so representative democracy is what allows capitalism to continue because the ruling class stays in power and puts up barriers for entrance into politics. True. That is true. Neoliberalism already makes the Overton window fall into the right of the spectrum. Let's break that down a bit. Neoliberalism is basically the bootstraps ideology that the capitalists, the businessmen, the corporate leaders should be the ones that are in charge. They should be in charge of what to produce, how to produce it. Efficiency is king. They should be self-regulating, and us, the consumers, have the ultimate choice. We are in power of ourselves because we get to choose what to buy, and we get to climb up the social ladder ourselves and work hard enough, and work is valued, and all this dumb shit. It's bootstrap mentality. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
That what you just described is more neoconservatism.
They're one and the same at this point, bro.
Well, it's complicated.
Yeah.
Because I actually do. I've done a little research on neoliberalism, but kind of what happened was in like the 30s, a lot of like liberals saw like a lot of people becoming like socialist, and they're like, oh no, we can't have socialism. So basically, it's like they're like socially liberal. It's like the most simplest way to describe neoliberalism, in my opinion. Like socially liberal, right? But in the end goal, they really like
it's
like fiscally conservative.
It's laissez-faire.
Or like fiscally, moderate.
Laissez-faire economics.
You know, most Democrats are neoliberals.
Yeah, that's the kind of corporate leftism that we talk about. Like, a lot of people, when they're trying to like pinpoint why they hate Hillary or why they hate Joe Biden or why they hate Pelosi, it's like, they're corporate, they're neoliberals. That's what
the neoliberals. They're kind of one and the same, really. Yeah.
So neoliberalism already makes the Overton window fall into the right of the spectrum. The Overton window is what is accepted in, quote unquote, accepted in mainstream modern politics. So, like, when we go back to the, like, the Red Scare, communism, so therefore the radical left side of the spectrum was not accepted in modern politics. It was outside of the Overton window, right? So so I think he has a point there. Neoliberalism, neoliberalism falls to the right of the spectrum, so basically both parties are on the right. Am I wrong about that, Matthew? Fact check me here.
No.
Okay. And one should only participate in democracy to destroy it.
No. I think if you're going to participate in democracy, it should be generally to boost. You know, unfortunately, we can't get a single candidate that's against, money in politics. But if you if you don't believe in democracy, don't participate in it. That's honestly the best way to destroy it, because then it'll destroy itself. But that could also, run the risk of electing a fascist. So maybe don't do that.
So let's see how he wants to destroy democracy by participating in it. Shall we?
Yes, I think we shall.
So he says vote for Kanye West. Kanye West, if you don't know, has announced his campaign for the 2020 presidency.
They put an asterisk on that?
Yeah.
He's still not registered in the FEC, so he's not going to be on any ballot.
All he did was tweet about it.
Yeah.
But he hasn't registered.
Yeah.
So technically, he's not running for president. He just says he is.
Well, there is a Kanye He's Nuts West running in the Green Party.
In the Green Party?
But I presume that is not the real Kanye West.
So Joe Biden is a rapist, racist war criminal with tendencies towards pedophilia. I don't know how you have pedophilic tendencies.
like a closeted pedophile.
Like, no, either you're a pedophile or you're not, bro.
Yeah.
I tend to be pedophilic.
You know, like
like what the hell?
like 10, too low for me. 11, acceptable.
And then that's also Donald Trump is a rapist, racist billionaire with fascist tendencies.
Yeah. Which I mean, like, yeah,
Okay.
but like,
But then he's also a war criminal and also has tendencies towards pedophilia.
yeah,
It sounds like he took AP Gov. It was just like using words from his like vocab list. And was like, that's
Yes! Me and Matt were talking about this yesterday because we were trying to figure out what to say. And it's literally like he has this post exhibits the same knowledge, if not less, than Matt or I have. I'll say same knowledge as me, less than Matt. But he says it in such a poignant way
yeah,
where he's like, this is it. Like he makes the observations, or the observations are there. But then his solution is vote for Kanye West because it's a protest against the system that allowed us to have Donald Trump versus Joe Biden. Let's talk
Here's the
about the
thing.
problems with that. Matt, why don't you take the floor?
like Kanye, like, okay, listen, like, Jesus Christ, like,
It's hard to
I
even
don't-
know where to start.
yeah, like, Kanye honestly would not be any better than Trump. That's just like a fact. Like, he'll be even more incompetent. He'll probably still be like, because what generally happens with people who are like do not get like their degree in law or like political science and then like run for elected office, so like basically your average Joe, is that they all kind of just become authoritarian because they get this power and they're like, oh, you have to listen to me. But that's not how the government works. So Kanye would not be any better because he's going to just hire some, like, let's just go with war criminal, you know, because they both participated in the Middle East, Biden and Trump. So Kanye would like just probably go to the Pentagon and then be like, yo, what's up? And they'll be like, listen, Taliban, they're pretty bad. And he'd be like, yo, keep it up.
why are you speaking in Ebonics to talk to Kanye West?
Oh no.
I don't know.
Kanye,
I kind of forgot how Kanye.
I
kind of forgot how Kanye West talks.
Don't do the voice. I'm gonna give you a hot tip. Don't
Hot
do the
tip.
voice.
There was gonna be no voice involved.
Drop the voice.
Yeah, no. Kanye would probably just roll up and be like, "Hey, what's happening in the Middle East?" And
See, okay, Matt. I know, and KJ knows that this is just your voice. This is how you would talk if it was any other man. But since it's Kanye, the fact that you say yo and I seems problematic to an outside audience.
Yo, the house. I'm gonna let you finish. But Jesus has the best album.
Also, if anyone has any less knowledge of politics than Kanye West,
Oh,
it's
jeez.
Pusha T. Let me tell you, I cannot see Pusha T walking to the Senate to make a tiebreaker.
And we're back. Alright, so here's my take. As a Kanye West fan, I have seen Kanye at his highest, at Yeezus and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and
Beautiful.
basically, you know, college dropout, late registration. We've also seen him at his lows, you know, at the slavery was a choice, MAGA hat wearing, I'm gonna let you finish, Taylor, you know, all that shit. But here's the thing. This man is so fucking unstable. This man literally has bipolar disease and he wants to run a country? Bro. Donald Trump is so unqualified. If there's anyone less qualified than Donald Trump, it's Kanye West.
Kanye West.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Donald Trump is a white man. No offense to my white male viewers, but for the most part, y'all don't give a fuck about anybody.
Sorry, Matt.
Sorry, Matt.
Sorry, Matt.
And although Kanye may, I don't know, I have no idea where he lands politically, but publicly he seems like he skews a little more conservative, right? There's nothing wrong with conservatism. Honestly, I think
I
if you
disagree.
break down, well, listen to me. Conservatism now, toxic as fuck. 100%.
Being on the right is fine, but conservatism has nothing to add to modern politics.
I think, and this is coming from a leftist. I'm very left, but the right now is so toxic that it forces the left to be toxic as well. So it's just this whole pool of toxicity in politics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just talking about ideologically, right?
Okay, yeah, 100%.
Ideologically,
100%.
just being politically right, totally fine. I have political right values. I have political left values. I'm not a centrist, mind you. Hey, get out of here with that shit. But
My pussy.
but I think ideologically, conservatism, nothing to contribute to society. There's nothing that propels us forward with conservative values. Anyway,
Well, isn't that necessarily the whole point?
Alright, so I'll admit,
Yeah.
I think I was using, the right and conservatism, kind of.
No,
That's
it's
the
cool.
thing.
That was just my dumb little interjection.
No, 100%. But like, it's to elaborate. I am illiterate. No, to elaborate my point, both parties need to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
The reason that the politics are so toxic right now is because of the last 4 years. Trump knows his audience. He doubled down on that bitch, right? So now the right is all the image that they project are, alt-right, neo-Nazi, Confederate fucks. Everybody knows that's not the case. We know that's not the case. But that's the image the Trump administration wants to project.
Yeah.
So now the left has to double down. But here's the thing: the left already, in terms of history's eyes, is on the right side. You know what I'm saying? Because they're combating that, that image. That image that I think everybody can just agree is not where we should be at as a country. But let's be real: like Democrats, they don't do anything for black people. They just don't.
Neoliberals, full circle.
Yeah, like when Obama was reelected, I don't think a lot of black people were like, this man could have fixed the hood. No one's going in with that mindset.
Neoliberals have the same amount of toxic capitalist values that neoconservatives do. It sucks.
Oh, yeah.
It all sucks. The Democrats suck. Everyone sucks.
Everyone sucks.
Well, kind of actually a big reason why third parties aren't big in the U.S. anymore. At one point, they actually did have some prominence in elections, mainly because of the '60s. Because the most successful third parties to ever exist, very racist, generally pro-segregation parties. I mean, the most successful one was a pro-segregation party in the 1968 election. They won 3 to 4 states. And kind of ever since then, it's, the reason why third parties aren't seen legitimate anymore is, the most successful one ever was pro-segregation, and segregation is bad.
Yeah.
So,
generally speaking, yeah.
So now a lot of people kind of associate, it's a whole thing. And honestly, this post makes one good point, is that the money in politics is a big issue.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessarily an issue with representative democracy. It's more of an issue with U.S. democracy and how we decided things need to be ran.
Yeah.
You could probably take $200 billion out of the military budget and make like a separate election budget for candidates who are coming up. I don't know.
I also think there's a crazy level. Here's my take. I think there's a crazy level of mental gymnastics you have to do to recognize representative democracy is an issue. Capitalism making its way into our political system. Capitalism being our political system is an issue. Therefore, in order to protest that issue, we have to vote Kanye. Because that'll make all of the people involved realize, hey, oh my god, people voted for Kanye. We have to change everything.
Yeah.
There's no through line. There's no point A, point B. It's just we have to protest the system, so we have to vote Kanye. And here's why that's problematic. Okay, here's why that fucks us up. Voting for Kanye, he is a leftist, right? And he's telling, presumably, other leftists to do it because his reasoning for doing it is very left. So it's only pulling votes away from Biden. I think we are at a turning point for Turning Point USA, turning point for the next, not just 4 years, but the next period of American politics.
I'm going to disagree with you on one point, and that's it would hurt Biden more than Trump. And I really do think it would actually hurt Trump more than it would hurt Biden. I mean, like, as we've all agreed, Kanye is a conservative.
I disagree. Yeah. Because
you disagree that Kanye is a conservative?
No, I disagree that it would take more votes away from Trump because I think Trump's base is Trump's base. You know what I mean? They're not like, oh, Kanye endorsed him and now he is running. I will vote for Kanye. If anything, it's almost seen as backstabbing.
Well, we've seen a lot of anti-Trumpers come out in bigger and bigger droves. I mean, they're all like bad.
But why would they then go right for Kanye? A lot of the people that I've seen saying Kanye you should vote for Kanye have been leftists. They've been like, hey, Kanye's not all bad. Hey, Kanye said George Bush doesn't care about black people. Remember that? Remember that, guys, when he said that on live TV? That was cool. It's shit like that where it's like, okay.
Well, what would happen is Kanye would start talking. You know.
Either way,
and
I think,
and a lot of Trump's like kind of disillusioned base, so like people who are probably still going to vote for him right now, but probably aren't liking the State of the Union, to say the least, or probably would if Kanye starts talking like policy and stuff, they may be more drawn to him because now Kanye is the outsider. You know, Kanye has never been anywhere close to politics besides being associated with Donald Trump. You know.
I think so if we're talking about his influence, how much he's going to pull, it's going to be more Biden than Trump. I think he'll pull from both, but I think it will hurt Biden. I think it'll hurt the left a lot more than it'll hurt the right. Because, again, Trump's base is Trump's base.
Yeah. Biden's base, this motherfucker trying to get Trump out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Again,
like Trump is. No, yeah.
Yeah, these are all, like, really hypotheticals. He's not running. He's not even registered in the FEC yet.
Yes,
I think he's about to make some deadlines anyways.
Yeah. That's why I think that we're at a turning point, because, we already talked about the Overton window, right? The fact that Trump is in office, the fact that the Black Lives Matter protests have been going on means the Overton window is both very wide and very small. It is definitely shifted towards the right. The alt-right, I would argue, is now within the Overton window.
Maybe some of their messaging is.
Yeah.
But definitely not a lot of their.
But if you talk in terms of like, not rhetoric, but the basic principles are within the Overton window.
Maybe like the most liberal principles. Because like the thing is, I would agree, but like a lot of mainstream media, even like mainstream, we've seen like the Lincoln Project is huge right now because of like what is Trump doing, and those are like Republicans.
I
a
think
lot
at
of
the
these
least we can agree that because of Trump's presidency, it has shifted more to the right, significantly more to the right.
honestly, I think at the beginning of his presidency, it definitely would have been more to the. But I think it's kind of now. I mean, like the
Well, yeah,
easiest,
but
like
again, because of his presidency,
yeah.
it has shifted.
But I think also kind of funny enough because of his presidency now, it's now shifting back to the left. You know, because I mean, like now, like universal healthcare is like that's like majority of Americans support that now. You know.
Yeah, well, that's the argument I'm making. Is that right
Oh.
now it could go either way.
I was just not paying attention then.
Yeah, no,
Might
that's
be.
that's the argument I'm
Swings
making.
left.
Yeah.
If it swings
yeah.
left, it's strictly out of a response to Trump's whole existence,
So
not
yeah.
because of
Exactly.
him not because of him as a president.
Exactly.
Well, I was kind of making like the ironic point because he is president. It is like ironically shifting to the.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
sure,
just
I mean, sure,
okay.
sure.
Here's
We're saying the
point I'm
same
making.
thing.
I will
Yeah,
make-
we're saying the same thing
Yeah,
different ways.
I'll make the point that I will make. Here's what I'm trying to say. That the next 4 years is going to decide the general future of where we're at. Because if he stays in for the next 4 years, that kind of ideology, that sort of rhetoric gets ingrained. Not ingrained, but it gets even more normalized than it already has. When the president can retweet a video saying white power, and that doesn't make every headline everywhere, that's a bad thing. That's normalizing racist rhetoric. So I think if he stays in for the next 4 years, that alt-right gets even more normalized. It gets even more solidified. Again, the Overton window, I hate that we keep using that term, but it keeps shifting.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, if I would say if Biden gets elected, it starts to move back to its balanced state. You know what I mean?
Yeah, more to like the center.
Yeah, our focus can now be for the next 4 years how to progress past a Biden or a Trump or a Clinton, right? Whereas if we stay with Trump for the next 4 years, all we're going to be worried about is how the fuck do we get another Democrat in office? You know?
Yeah.
So I think spouting this stupid fucking shit like vote for Kanye because it's a protest of the system. The best protest of the system that you can do is vote for Biden. I hate it. Obviously, I hate it. But the system that we have is Trump. It is that capitalist system. The direct opposition to that, as much as it sucks, right now is Biden. Voting for Kanye does nothing for anyone except take away votes from you say Trump, I say Biden. It takes away votes. It sucks.
Yeah.
No one's going to look at, hey, look, Kanye got some votes and be like, aw, shucks. Time to turn socialist.
Yeah.
That's my spiel.
No, that's exactly what's going to happen.
100%.
And
People gonna
obviously
vote for
don't
Kanye.
vote for him as a fucking joke, you goddamn morons. Don't vote for Kanye as a fucking
To be fair, I believe the people who say they're going to vote for him. So, like,
You believe what?
people who say they're going to vote for him as a joke aren't going to vote for him at all. You know? I think they're just saying that to be funny. And if you think it's funny or not, besides the point.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the memes of like what the national anthem are going to
Oh,
be
wait.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, don't
are
use that one.
hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious. But like,
But at a certain
I
point...
remember in middle school, or I guess, yeah, 2016. So like, middle school going into high school. I remember when like even motherfuckers who weren't even old enough to vote, the whole like Trump bandwagon thing was such a big thing, like especially at my school,
Yeah.
that like they can't even vote. They knew it was a meme, but now 4 years later, it's kind of influenced their whole political outlook.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, bro, you said that shit as a joke when you were like 12, and now that's like where you stand politically. Like, you can't just have people out here like, oh, haha, Kanye, because that's gonna influence the next generation. You know, don't get me wrong, I love Kanye. You know I love Kanye. Not to metaphorically ride this man's dick right now, but I genuinely think this man is one of the greatest artists of our time. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
This man has so much influence. So much influence. He, honestly, I'd even say he had a lot of political influence. 100%. This man does not have to be the president of the fucking United States.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's another really good point, is that even still, people don't realize what being president really means.
Yeah.
Like
President of the United States.
the leader of the free world, Kanye West. Fuck. I keep seeing all this shit about,
Say it like that.
hey guys, Kanye is not that bad. You know, hey guys, we should vote for Kanye. Could you imagine a world where President West is sending troops to Iraq?
I want to see Kanye West sit in a NATO meeting
That's so
or
funny.
or give a
Fuck,
speech at
dude.
the UN.
Could
I
you
already-
imagine, dude? We get, say we get, fucking bombed by Japan again, and President West sends the nukes?
No, imagine. I want to see President West talk to Angela Merkel. That should just be so funny.
I mean, so many people think that the presidency is just kissing babies,
Giving speeches.
giving speeches, shaking some hands, signing some shit, and then boom.
No, it's like an actual job. Yeah, like things to do.
I feel like we're in this executive order era, and it's pretty much just a Trump presidency where it's like, if you don't like something, you just do it. You just executive order, dude. You got it, and that's it.
So, not to be a stickler on time, but it is 9:00.
It is 9:00. You're right.
So,
Yeah, do we have anything else? Oh, let's get into our final segment, shall we? Final thoughts on Kanye's presidency, and then we'll get into our final segment. So, Matt?
this isn't like 2015 Trump, where people actually said it was like a joke. And, you know, Kanye's not registered in the FEC. He's not registered to a party. No way in high hell. It's promotion at best. Dumb at worst.
KJ?
And
Oh,
and dumb teenagers are dumb teenagers. That's how it be sometimes.
thank you, Matt. KJ, final thoughts on Kanye's presidency? Bro?
I just want to end with a quote from future President of the United States, Kanye West. If I just fucked this model and she just bleached her asshole, and then I got bleach on my t-shirt, then I'm gonna feel like an asshole, you know? Because I was high when I met her, and we were down in Tribeca. She get under your skin if you let her. She get under your skin. That's all.
Wow. I'm tearing
That
up.
is, I don't think that made sense, but
No, I'm
the
tearing up, man.
context?
That was beautiful.
okay.
Um,
Your final thoughts, Mr.
My
Shane?
final thoughts: do not vote for Kanye. Don't tell anyone that voting for Kanye is some big protest of the system. There is no reason based on any... I posted this. There is no reason based on any understanding of the political system as to why you would vote for Kanye.
All right.
That's
Sounds
that.
good to me.
All right, so our final segment. What have we been doing? Hey, Matt. Hey, KJ. What have
Hey,
you
Joe.
been doing? Hey. Whoa.
We been doing.
Yeah.
What have we been doing?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you start. Jump days, you start.
Hey, hey.
You've been doing.
I'll start.
I want to do it in the song. Do it in like a song type thing.
I've been playing The Last of Us. and I've been going to work. That is all that I've been doing. What about you, Matt? Hey.
I'm not doing a song.
Come on, Matt. Get chipper.
Come on, Matt.
Come on, Matt.
Well, I have been watching some ARGs. They're pretty fun to watch, and they are interesting.
What about you, KJ?
We can't disclose that information. Alright, no, for real. Let's like actually.
Let's take it back. Let's take it back. Okay. I've been playing more of The Last of Us. I'm almost done with the game, which means next week we will do a review, and you can take that to the bank. We'll do a review of that, and then we'll do a review of something else that we'll get to later. I haven't watched movies in a long time. I haven't really watched anything in a while.
Should we watch another bad movie or good movies?
No. Hey, you shut your dirty mouth there, bud. We'll get to that later. Yeah, I've only been playing The Last of Us. It's interesting.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, I started working on my mom's store. Getting bank, made some money. Made a Joe City video. That is boring. But Joey's a great guy. But my video was not so good.
I wish I was employed.
What have you been doing, Matt?
So I've kind of had a renewed interest in ARGs, which are alternate reality games, which kind of tell a quirky story, let's say the least, usually using social media as the main platform, and they're very interactive. They have some very interesting. Recently, I've been watching, like, someone summarize the Sun Has Vanished Twitter account, which is a very interesting story about the sun vanishing. Still watching Clone Wars. Getting to the really good shit. Right now we're on our arc about slavery. Topical.
What?
Matt, huh?
There is in the Clone Wars. There's an arc about. Oh yeah,
It's Clone Wars.
You said we're on our arc about slavery. I'm like, are you wrapping your head around it, or?
One episode.
So there's a storyline in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, written by Dave Filoni, and this one is about a slave empire that is back. It's very good. Some very interesting points, especially since the main character, Anakin Skywalker, was once a slave. So that's what I've been doing recently. Hey Jay, what about you?
Basically, I'm still working on the album. So the 6 people listening, it's coming. Been super busy though. A few weeks ago, I watched this really cute, charming movie. You guys should check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Ernest and Celestine. It's a animated movie. I think it was nominated for Best Animated Picture. I want to say back in 2013, maybe. I think Frozen beat it out. But it's really cute. It's a French picture. You can watch it in French, but I guess why would you want to watch something you don't understand? It's really cute. It's about this like bear in this mouth.
Dude. Subtitles.
Sure, do whatever you want, but it's really good. Like the art, amazing, music. It's such a cozy film, and with the world like dying outside, sometimes you just need something cute and cozy to just like watch. What else have I been watching? Oh yeah, fucking Hamilton, y'all. Nah. So I've listened to Hamilton. I've seen Hamilton and the recorded versions go on Disney Plus. I don't know. What's your guys' take on Hamilton?
So we haven't seen Hamilton. We haven't watched it on Disney Plus yet.
You've listened to Hamilton,
listened
correct?
Yes.
Matt, why don't you go first? I talk over people a lot. Why don't you go first?
It's fine. I like the songs. I just don't like. I remember when it like first came out.
Okay, Whitey.
Okay, I remember when it first came out. There was a really annoying culture around it.
Yeah.
They had a lot of, let's say, stands
Yeah.
Which made me not like it because of that. Not because like the actual thing was bad, but the people were annoying. So obviously the thing had to be bad. But yeah, I actually swallowed my pride for a few seconds and listened to it. I was like, okay, yeah, this is good, but like they're still annoying. Those people.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my take on Hamilton.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I never, like, obviously I'm majoring in theater, but I never really got into any, like, that theater culture. You know what I mean? Like, I don't read plays, I don't listen to musicals. Maybe I should, but I'm not, like, a big, oh my god, musicals. I'm gonna do a mob show at Denny's or that kind of dumb shit. I mean, to each their own, but that's not for me. So, like, when I first heard about Hamilton... when I first heard about Hamilton, it was the same environment as Matt, where it was just like all these fucking annoying ass people raving about Hamilton. But then when I finally listened to it, like, I think it's a really well written, quality musical. I think it's a good entryway for other musicals. But in terms of the historical accuracy, I'm not too sure on how I feel about it. And yeah, I guess we can get into a little bit of that. But Kyle, what's your take on it?
Yeah, well, I'm also. Well, Jup touches it a lot. He's a theater boy. But I guess some of the audience might know we're all kind of theater boys to very different degrees. My history with acting was I acted a little bit when I was little, and then I was like, that's gay. Do sports. And then I did sports for a really long time, and then like maybe 6 years ago, I just kind of got back into it, and now that's like kind of like the thing that I do besides like music. So when this was really came out, I was like, bro, same thing. I was like, I hate, but I still kind of do hate the culture around musicals. But as a black actor who makes music and raps, I think it's really cool that there's a musical that's like, this is yours. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, to Jeff's point, historically accurate, not in the slightest. Is it a piece of American propaganda? Fuck yeah, it is. But I'm gonna bump that shit. Yeah. Fucking
the room where it happens. Dear Theodosia, let me cry.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I think I think you can speak to it. As people of color in the theater community, you're very kind of subjugated to like the villain or the funny character, like it's very rare that you are the person of color and you're the lead and your race is not the point of it. Like obviously that like race blind casting is a thing and we've all happened, but I think racially biased casting is also a thing. So having a whole musical where they're like, oh, founding fathers, everyone's white, fuck it, everyone's a person of color.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be that, but I think that's kind of what it's become. And to know that exists, and to know that, my parents who only come to shows because I'm in it, the fact that they can listen to Hamilton and be like, this shit bumps, it's universal. And I really respect Lynn and everybody behind it on and off stage.
Yeah.
So
is that all she wrote?
I think that's all she wrote.
All right.
That's all she wrote.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the worst episode. No, this is pretty good, I think. But we have to set it up as the worst, just in case it is.
Yeah. Fucking sucks.
This episode was fucking awful. I don't know why you're listening. Thank you for listening, though.
Thank you.
To the worst episode of the Zero Budget Podcast, not live. Make sure to follow us on Instagram to keep up with our videos and maybe now to get clips.
Ooh. No.
I don't want to promise that because I kind of don't want to do it.
I'll do it.
Okay. Follow us on Instagram at ZeroBudgetPod. I forgot you can email us, but I don't know why you would do that. ZeroBudgetPod@gmail.com. Make sure to follow KJ Dawson at the KJ Dawson, Matthew Hanks at Matthew_L_Hanks, or me at Jiptage. On all of our social medias. Tune in every week or whenever we post for a brand new episode. I have been your host, Jiptage Singh, my co-host, Matthew Hanks, and my other co-host, KJ Dawson. That is all.
Be well.
Be well. And we're stopped.